What's up, mighty boys and girls, it's your Ranger Boy here, and I live in the beautiful country of Germany, aka the Deadlands, in regards of the Pokemon anime. And by that I mean that you will not see even a hint of the Pokemon anime existing. During the glory days of XYZ, nothing. During the changing times of Sun and Moon, nothing. And even during the sadly last season of Ash Ketchum, nothing. So in the 10 plus years since I've been covering the Pokemon anime, I have never ever seen my country Germany even acknowledging the existence of Annie-Poke. Until a few days ago, where to my sheer and utter disbelief, I saw this, an actual prominent ad for the new Pokemon anime being plastered on every third bus in my city, and believe me, my city is goddamn huge. And I also saw other things like posters and even German YouTube ads constantly popping up almost every time I opened up a video. And this sudden acknowledgement of Pokemon Horizons in particular, not only in my country, but also worldwide from the looks of it, really made me itch to watch Horizons again. So I spent my entire free day watching where I left off, which was way back then when Liko caught her first Pokemon, and I cannot believe what I just witnessed. So if you want to know more, then grab some popcorn, grab some cookies, and let's do this. If some of you have watched my past reviews, you could tell that all in all, I really loved Pokemon Horizons. It was something new, it was something fresh and exciting, and even though I also pointed out some of its flaws, my overall attitude towards this brand new era was rather positive. But we all know this story all too well, don't we, with the likes of Pokemon Journeys. It also started off very promising, and then at a certain point in time, it dipped off so much in terms of storytelling and overall quality that it was a chore to watch, and many fans rightfully gave up on the anime and just watched highlights and major events instead. Matter of fact, as of right now, we have 43 episodes of Horizons. Do you know where Journeys was by the time we arrived at episode 43? Right in the middle of the Darkest Day arc, also known as one of the worst arcs in Annie-Poke history. An arc that was so underwhelming and with zero creativity that Journeys basically just copy-pasted the game's storyline and rushed through the entire plot in just 4 episodes, further showcasing the absolute disrespect to Gen 8. And then they followed up that arc with a filler episode of Ash and Novice Go battling against Mewtwo, which had no further impact nor logic to the story of Journeys. So with that being said, how is Horizons doing so far, arriving at the same point where Journeys started to go downhill? I cannot believe that I'm actually saying this, but instead of getting worse, it actually is still good. And not only that, but from my personal point of view, Horizons not only kept up its quality, but there are certain things that they actually improved. So somehow, some way, it got even better. But how is that even possible? In my opinion, there's one easy and simple answer to this question. Pokemon Horizons actually feels like the old school Pokemon anime again. Almost every old school trope that we loved about the anime of the past is being implemented to a certain extent. Honorable mentions, we actually have changed the opening intro, which is not only visually stunning, but also has a brand new song and even some nice hints of storytelling to it. Imagine if you are stuck with the same goddamn opening for 3 years straight. It will make you mad. So just this minor change alone is a refreshing welcome. Also, the animation is still consistently good. I just saw Amifio's training battle against the Butler, and it still boggles my mind how this one exhibition match, this one match right here, is better animated than 90% of Journeys. I just can't believe it. But anyway, let's dive into the main points. Number 1, Pokemon Horizons has an actual ongoing story. I think one of the easiest things that Horizons does so much better compared to its previous 2 predecessors is that it has an actual ongoing story, aka at first Liko chasing after what she wants in life. That is how the story began, and the more she experienced and the more people she met throughout her journey, the more her initial goal developed. First it was all about her desire, and then it evolved into trying to figure out the secrets of her pendant. That then further evolved into helping Roy chasing Rayquaza, discovering the legend of Lucius and his 6 hero Pokemon, and after a pendant was being revealed as Terrapagos, now she wants to find those 6 heroes to help her friend finding the paradise place called Rakua, together with her friends. It's a coherent and understandable story that not only is still growing, but also never really gets interrupted in the middle of her journey. That was one of the main problems with Journeys, that we started some sort of story for Ash and Go, but right when it actually gets interesting, we get interrupted with senseless slice of life fillers or just episodes in general with barely any impact to the main story. But unlike Journeys, Horizons never loses its grip on the main plot, even if we enter some weeks of fillers, because even Horizon fillers do feel like that they are part of the overall adventure. Second of all, the feeling of adventure is back. In the past, last 2 generations, aka Sun and Moon and Journeys, we were mostly stuck in one location, aka the Mele Islands and the Kanto region. And within those limited areas, our heroes more than often did nothing else but slice of life or just fillers of Go catching his 69th Pokemon, totally irrelevant to his development, or in general never really progressed the story in any kind of way. But with Horizons, thanks to the nature of their flying ship, they also have a place they call their home, just like Sun and Moon and Journeys, but since it's a vehicle, you are still able to move to different locations. And even if we have fillers, those filler episodes focus more on establishing existing characters by giving them more characterization and character moments. Even if a filler is all about just the Pokemon, it's still really enjoyable and still feels like it's part of the overall adventure. Number 3. Proper character development. Of course, Liko is the one character that the anime focuses on the most in terms of character development, since she is the main character of Horizons, but only because she is the poster child of this brand new era doesn't mean that she is equivalent to Go, aka a guy who got so much rushed development all at once that they sacrificed other characters like Ash and Koharu. The other characters actually receive proper screen time for establishment as well. With Roy, they do the more old school Ash Ketchum style, where his progression isn't as obvious as the others, but when his time to shine arrives, it's really enjoyable and a welcomed addition. But besides Liko, the 2 characters that stand out the most in my opinion when it comes to their overall story are Dot and Amifio. In case of Dot, she started off as this really shy and isolated character who spends most of her time on the internet and as her internet persona, but the more she engages with Liko and the others, she opens up more and more towards the outside world, trying out new things and even going out of her comfort zone, with her latest achievements being catching her very first Pokemon, aka the adorable Tinkaton, and confronting her own mother of wanting to continue her adventure while expressing her own desire towards her parent. And if that doesn't scream old school Pokemon, then I don't know what is. But in my opinion, my favorite character arc is that of Amifio, the antagonist that first started as a pure villain, then after not achieving his goal, going full rogue against his own organization, then after tasting his very first bitter defeat by the hands of Freed and his terrestrialized Charizard, for the first time ever, his confidence and ego took a major hit. Despite the damage of ego, he still confronted Black Rayquaza head on, and needless to say, he just got completely stomped on. And after receiving another blow to his confidence, he now decided to retreat and hone his skills while also trying to master the Terra Orb. From these 2 characters alone, you could see some major changes that was so much needed in Journeys, especially for Go and Koharu, but they were never able to execute it in a way that Horizons does, which led to Journeys being one of the most hated and most controversial anime-poke gens within the fandom. And the last point I want to address of why Pokemon Horizons is so good is because, number 4, there is no Ash. Okay. Before you click the dislike button and type your comment, at least hear me out first and let me rephrase my initial statement. The anime is great not because there is no Ash, but it is so good because there is no forever 10-year-old Ash. The main problem with Ash was that as much as he learned and as much as he has achieved, I think at a certain point in time, the writers of the anime have all reached the limit of what you can do with Ash. As a 10-year-old, he has seen everything, he has experienced every character moment and every major event there is, and thanks to both Sun and Moon and Journeys, he has won everything there is to win. Yet at the same time, he's still 10 years old, and his overall goal of becoming a Pokemon master is still not complete, even after everything we have witnessed in these plus 20 years. But with Liko, Roy, and the Rising Volteclas, we don't have this problem anymore. We have new characters with no limitation, and most importantly, with so much more creative freedom of what you can do with these characters, something that you didn't really have with Ash, and a freedom that the writers only had with the other characters that weren't Ash. That doesn't mean that I don't want Ash to ever return back into the anime again, or that he isn't welcomed, but if Ash will ever make an appearance, it has to be a different kind of Ash, an Ash that is maybe more mature, or maybe even got older, and a version of him that plays a different kind of role and has a slightly different kind of behavior. I don't want him to change into a completely different person, because if so, then it wouldn't be our beloved Ash anymore. But if you really want him back, then Horizons doesn't need to change according to Ash, but Ash has to change according to what is best for Horizons. His return has to benefit the anime first and foremost, and not benefit him and his fans. You have to find the right balance between Ash nostalgia and improving the anime with the inclusion of him. I know that till this day there are at least some fans out there who are desperately craving for a return of Ash, especially since Journeys did him dirty and injustice. But if you put good old 10-year-old Ash into this new anime without changing his goal, behavior and mindset at least a little bit, then maybe he shouldn't return at all. But yeah, Long story short, Horizons was amazing by the time I took a break, and by the time I returned, it is still good and somehow got even better. Anyway guys, I really hope you enjoyed this video. What is your opinion on Horizons overall? Do you enjoy it? Do you not? Tell me, and just like always, see you guys in the comments down below. Bye guys!